Hello, my name is Philippe Reinhardt, and I'll be debating on Catalonia and whether they deserve independence from Spain, and I'll be arguing on the side of Catalonia's right to their independence. So first we need to understand how you gain the right for your independence. There's essentially two ways that this can go about. First, you can get consent from the parent nation. That means that the independent actors of the nation wishing to secede simply talks to the central government of that country, and they are allowed to secede. This has happened in history, mostly with colonialization, where India and Pakistan were allowed from their parent country, Britain at the time, to secede peacefully, and then they became their own independent countries. The other way to secede is what is called a unilateral declaration of independence. Now, this is when the actors of the nation wishing to secede either pass a referendum or take a referendum within their area, and they declare independence without asking permission from the parent country. This can go one of two ways. One way is it can end very violently with wars, usually civil wars. One of the most famous civil wars that everyone should know is the American Revolution, where the United States declared their independence from Britain. And that led to a very bloody conflict, which inevitably gave us our independence. The other way that can kind of pan out is it can go to international courts and laws, but typically it ends in a very bloody manner. Now, Catalonia is a region in northeast Spain. It borders France, where it gets a lot of its cultural heritage from. It is about 7.5 million people of Spain, including Barcelona, one of their most famous cities. It is a semi-autonomous nation at this point because preceding the death of Francisco Franco in around 1977, they were given a little bit of latitude with the ability to rule certain things, have their own politicians, their own education, the ability to practice a lot of their cultural beliefs and their language. After this happened, we had kind of a string of events since 1977 to like around 2006, where they passed some referendums on the constitution in Spain about the autonomy of Catalonia, and in 2010, those were considered unconstitutional by the Kingdom of Spain. This has led to a bunch of upheaval, and now as we reach around 2017, there has been multiple referendums for the independence of Catalonia. And within the region, some of the polls have indicated up to 90% of the people of those regions wish to secede from Spain, as they don't share a lot of the commonalities of Spain. And this brings me to my point of their ability to secede from Spain is predicated on the fact that simply they don't share a lot with Spain other than the borders of Spain. Their culture is significantly different. Even going from their food shares more commonality with France, with Italy. The foods that they ingest are not that similar to Spain. And in fact, if you leave Catalonia, the region of Catalonia, you go into what would seem like a different country. Good reason for them to be their own country. The other reason is they speak a different language. In Catalonia, they speak Catalan, which is what was oppressed for a long time. However, now they speak primarily Catalan, and in Barcelona, you can get a 50-50 split of Spanish and Catalan. The other major functioning reason that they should leave is the fact that they are a monetary, bank for the rest of Spain. During the 2008 crisis, Catalonia was giving billions and billions of dollars in tax money and not seeing any of that back for aspects of infrastructure, education, schooling, and the other things that define Catalonia. The other aspect is they simply, up to this date, now that there's a little less of that burden since the financial crisis of 2008, they still make up 20% of the GDP of Spain, which they feel that they have the right to their own monetary gains. They have the right to their own self-determinance in their monetary function, which is completely understandable. So to quickly wrap this up, Catalonia is, by all definition, its own working nation, its own working country, its own working political structure, its own working language, its own working culture, including festivities and other cultural aspects that define them as their own people. So, to wrap up, absolutely, Catalonia deserves the opportunity to self-govern. Thank you, and I hope to hear back from everyone.